It's the Fellowship of the Geeks Show, brought to you through the support of the following: Awesome Comics at GalaxyCollegeDallas.com, SciFiFX.com, and Voodoo Gingerbread Graphics. Music courtesy of FreePlayMusic.com. You can contact the Fellowship at email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. And now, on with the show! Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the July 23rd, 2013 Fellowship of the Geek Show. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me via Google Hangouts is Mike Marlowe.
Hello, hello, hello.
A little bit of a delay there. From the website at Galaxy College Dallas, James Pickering. And just back from San Diego, Les Webster.
What? He was gone?
Hi, folks.
He's back.
What'd you bring us, Uncle Les?
He didn't bring anything back yet.
And see.
He didn't bring
the
anything
package
back.
arrives Thursday.
There you go.
From Colombia.
Meet the Millers.
No, the other package.
And remember, that's James Pickering at the Galaxy.
What do you mean this is not scrambled? This should have been scrambled.
Remember, the NSA's watching.
It's not any more scrambled than our shows usually are.
Tonight's episode, we're going to go over a little bit some of the news items that came out of San Diego, and we definitely want to hear from Les some of the fun times he had out there, as he rolls his eyes when I say that.
Les never got into the building until Sunday afternoon.
He was able to get in just as they were locking up.
And that was only because he disguised himself as a sweeper. He had a broom and was the jacket. And it was
Come out looking like Carol Burnett.
You guys are giving away all my secrets.
Okay, has anybody seen a lot of the pictures of the cosplayers from San Diego?
I've seen some, haven't seen a lot of them, but been picking up what I can here and there. Was there something I missed?
Well, there's something you missed that you probably should be grateful that you didn't see. I have Facebook friends who went out there. I've talked about them before. They got some pictures with a guy who dressed up as Powdered Toast Man.
Oh, saw that.
You saw that. So I mean, he's wearing nothing but just the thong, and then the kind of the bread over the head, and that's about it.
No. He had a sprinkle of cinnamon.
Oh, that's true.
See,
I was like,
the only picture of that I saw, I think, was just a head picture.
Well, be grateful that's all you saw.
I'm very grateful. That's all I saw.
Because it cannot be unseen.
I bleach.
Brillo pad my eyes. Scrub.
Les, did you see that on the floor?
No, I did not.
You should be grateful.
Lucky man.
No, my eyes were on the floor and I was stomping them out.
Hopefully he was walking around while I was at panels.
Well, let's start off there. What was the most interesting costume that you saw?
I think the most interesting one was the guy dressed as Galactus.
I've seen that, and it looked pretty awesome.
And he was carrying a globe in one hand, a ball painted like an Earth, and from his right shoulder was a piece of clear plastic, so you couldn't see plastic really, and attached to that was a small figure of Silver Surfer on his board. So he covered most everything he could as far as that person goes, and it was quite good. He put a lot of effort into this, and I thought it came off very well. It was fun to see. And yes, I did get a picture of it. So
Cool. Oh, you actually took pictures.
yes, I actually took pictures this time.
Yay.
Gee, Les, you'd think they didn't know you knew how to work a camera.
Well, given that
it's like
picture,
a computer.
given that picture he took of me and Terry Moore, I wonder.
Hey. Jeez.
Hey, I appreciate you took it, but I just kind of
Hey,
wish it was a
now.
little bit clearer.
I don't want to hear any more thanks.
Now we got to pick Les's brain about Comic-Con. Don't pick on him too much. We don't want him turning around in his chair.
So, Les, when did you arrive in San Diego?
Let's get on with the other news that came out first.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about all the fun you had?
Or I will, but
Stocking powdered toast man. Well, now,
Okay, what news item did you want to talk about?
probably the one you posted about the Zack Snyder revelation of the new Superman movie. I thought that was quite good. I wish I'd been able to see that panel. But that was one of those that was so crammed that you couldn't have fit anybody in the room.
give me a second, and I will find a link where you can watch when they announce it. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's all over YouTube.
It was intense, man.
It's pretty awesome. They got what was his name?
Well, they brought Chris Hardwick was introducing, and then they brought Zack Snyder out.
Well, yeah, Zack came in to make the announcement, but he brought in.
I can't remember the guy's name.
He played the Colonel Swanwick in Man of Steel to read a line that was from The Dark Knight Returns. And then it was the line where he's talking about, remember this day as I have my hand at your throat, remember this for the rest of your life, and remember that as that I'm the one who beat you. And then the lights went off, and up on the screen popped up the S flew up, and then the light from behind started coming up, and that's when you saw the bat emblem behind it.
Ah, that is cool. Yeah, I thought that was a big thing out there, and I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad that they decided to do this. Start pairing up the DC characters to build toward the Justice League movie. They also have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They showed the first episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. there.
Were you able to see it?
Oh, no. There was no way. Could not get into the hall.
Yeah, there were complaints. There was a lot of complaints on Twitter about all the people camping out in that hallway the night before in order to get into those panels.
Yes.
I mean, there was a lot of bitching and moaning going on Twitter about it.
The thing is, Mike, they don't clear the halls after a panel discussion. So if 50 people leave, they'll let 50 people in.
Yeah.
And that's it. They
Even
do
if
not
it's
say
400.
everybody out and have to go sit in line again.
Yeah.
That does stink, You sit there and you wait so long to see something, and then everybody else it basically makes you want to go to the very first whatever it is in the morning and sit there and sit all day long.
Yes.
Which that's not really fair. And I can't send that link to you in the comments section. I'll have to send it to you in an email because they don't allow comments links in the comment section on YouTube. So.
Okay.
I was going to do it on the comment section on YouTube so that everybody could see it. I just sent out a tweet. Taffeta retweeted, and I was kind of hoping she would show up here, but maybe we'll try that later. Because it'd be kind of cool if we could get her. That would be cool if we could get her on air real quick, and we could thank her at the end, or congratulate her at the end of the show.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Well, I'll have to invite her. Let me do that.
What, you haven't invited her before? Every Get that girl on here. Of course, now she's got her own show. She's going to snub us. I don't have time for that anymore, guys. All right.
I'm not going to be able to do it. It won't let me.
So
what else came out from the con, guys?
Let's see here.
Well, just a couple hours after that, Marvel announced the title of the next Avengers movie. Did you hear about that?
That was being paraded around, yeah.
Okay.
For those of us that didn't hear.
It's called Age of Ultron.
And Joss Whedon comes out and says, you can't have an Age of Ultron without Mr. Pym.
Which is going to be interesting to see how they handle that. I was on a discussion with someone yesterday on Facebook on how they're going to do that.
You know, I believe as long as they do the story right, yeah, they can do it.
Well, but Pym's the one who invented Ultron. He's the one the artificial intelligence. So, who's gonna do it? I mean, they were saying maybe it's gonna be Stark. That way, you still have the dynamic of a father and son and that kind of thing. I suggested it be a thing of Shield. Mm-hmm. I've also thought about the possibility of it being a secret government project to watch the Avengers, to be kind of a preventative in case they try to control them. I could definitely see that possibility.
Yeah.
And this is Whedon. He goes down that path sometimes.
And he even said that...
Think initiative.
But he said that Marvel Comic Universe is totally different from Marvel Movie Universe. And so that's kind of like the discussion I get into with a lot of people about, oh my God, that's not like the book. That's not the way they did it in the book. It's two separate universes, people. You got to look at it.
I understand that, but I'm what I'm just saying is, you know, I don't
want to go too far off the reservation.
Yeah.
Preferably not, but again, you run into the whole interpretation issue. I mean, the people writing the comic books are not the same as the people making the movies, and they interpret things differently. And it's even though they're both visual media, there's still differences in the way things get presented, and the kind of stuff people can do, and they end up having different visions of the same stuff, same stories, same characters, same whatever, same bad guys.
Well, I mean, I don't have a major problem with Pym not being the one who creates Ultron. It's just, you know, my question was how are they going to handle it, and you know, that was the kind of discussion I was getting into, because believe me, that Avengers is not the original lineup in the comics. So I mean, you got to deal with, you know, if you want to get really anal about it.
Well, what is the Age of Ultron storyline right now? Is it Pym that creates him, or is this something different?
The thing about, don't think about it being a version of that event, because it's not. Because Ultron was created a long time ago.
Yes, I understand that. But I just have a feeling they're going to lean on this storyline a lot for their movie.
I don't think so, because I think they got, from what some of the rumblings I've been hearing was that Whedon already had that title, because this event arc was originally going to be called Ultron War. That was what it was being touted about a couple of years ago when they did the free comic book day little thing. It was called Ultron War. And then 2-3 years later, the thing actually comes out and they changed it to Age of Ultron. Now here comes the announcement of the sequel, and well, you know, it's called Age of Ultron.
Okay.
So, as to the storyline, I don't know. I didn't read it.
Okay.
So, Not sure. What were some of the other things that you guys picked up on that kind of go, ooh, interesting?
Well, I was very happy to see Stephen Hawking kick off the Big Bang Theory panel. I thought that was really cool. You always hear about him not getting out, not doing a lot unless it's some kind of, lecture or something like that. It was really cool to see him actually get out to a convention like this and be a part of something like that. Granted, I know that's not ooh. Well, it is ooh.
It is ooh.
He got out. He's mingling. He's socializing. Next thing you know, he's gonna have a Twitter account.
He's one ahead of me.
Right?
I'm so leaving that alone.
Yeah. I posted on my personal Facebook page yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was something incredible. I don't know if you guys picked up. I seriously doubt Les did, since he was on his way back home. But apparently, Bryan Cranston went around the con wearing a mask of his character from Breaking Bad.
Yes, he did. So I saw that.
I was going to say, Matt Smith went out as Bart Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
High-fiving people. I didn't hear the actual audio for it. I just saw the pictures. But
I hadn't seen that. That's news to me. But I saw. It's great. If you hadn't seen it, guys, you need to look it up. But I mean, you see a picture of him with the mask, and he's got the glasses on, and it looks like a mask, but it looks really good. And then the next thing you know, there's a picture of him at the panel, and he's pulling the mask off, and of course it's Bryan Cranston. It was funny. Yeah. And then of course they started playing jokes with it, with what's his face, co-star kissing it, and they really went weird. But I thought that was awesome. Not really newsworthy, but it's a great touch. I love that.
Yeah.
Somebody else was wearing the General from the Star Wars movies. General
Grievous?
No, the squid head.
Oh,
you mean Admiral Akbar?
Admiral Akbar.
Yes, Admiral Akbar. Somebody was wearing Admiral Akbar as they walked around.
Sorry, that was actually what's his name from the first Men in Black as the roach. It's a trap.
Yeah, at least get it right, would you?
You're mixing your metaphors.
It's a trap. You need more Cagney in your voice.
Vincent D'Onofrio was the one that did that, right? Please
right.
Tell me that.
Yes. The man who played Thor.
And then Fox Networks are going to be rebooting, whatever, Cosmos in 2014.
Yes.
With Neil deGrasse Tyson. Tyson deGrasse, anyway. Nelson, whatever his name is.
Yeah, no, you
Major
got it right
Nelson?
the first time.
Okay. I wrote the post yesterday. I haven't seen it since then. I'm excited to see that. I was a big fan of Cosmos when I was a kid. Just seeing Carl Sagan. It was basically a drinking game, every time you hear him say billions and billions, you drink some Kool-Aid, And
as a kid, you had a drinking game? Is this what
Kool-Aid! Kool-Aid!
Didn't you say that he was a kid?
Yeah.
It's not like when you were a kid and you took drinks of sarsaparilla.
Buy a vowel. Yeah.
But I do have to say, though, he wouldn't have been my first bet on that. Brian Cox, that does The Wonders of Life, he's the real soft-spoken British kid. I called him a kid. He looks like he's 12.
I think he's like 40-something.
Which is scary. But he's got that soft spoken demeanor like Carl Sagan had. Of course, we only saw him when he was on the show and everything. I'm sure that when he had a raging hangover, he was, Al Pacino with with the drinking
No.
problems and stuff. But you know, for
He
that
sounded
part,
like Arnold Stein.
Brian Cox.
yeah, it's a show called Wonders of Life on the Science Channel, and he's just real.
Okay, so it's probably not the Brian Cox I'm thinking of.
No,
Probably
it's
not.
Almost certainly not in the Brian Cox show.
Okay.
Although that would be cool too.
Yeah. I like his voice. I think he could do a pretty good job on something. For those who are not knowing who I'm talking about,
He was General Stryker in X2.
yeah, and he was also the original Hannibal in
Yes,
Manhunter.
Manhunter. He
Oh,
was the
yeah.
Russian guy in Red.
Yep. He's been in a lot of good
and
movies.
Dracula stuff. He did a guest spot on a Red Dwarf episode.
No, that's cool.
Somewhere about season 7. Anyway, that's trivia right there.
Woohoo!
Got him.
Yay!
There's a no-fly zone around here.
I gotta tell you, the one thing I thought was really interesting, and it's almost, I mean, it's obviously con related, but I think it was Sunday morning. Gail Simone went on this extended rant, which was like 25 tweets long, about, I mean, just really riled up about how much people are complaining about other media taking over Comic-Con. It was really interesting. She was defending the con basically, because everybody's, oh, I can't believe they got TV shows and movies and all this crap. It's not a Comic-Con anymore and blah blah blah. And she's like, you know, people, it's all good. Just quit complaining and let them do their thing. And she's like, they're complaining that there's not enough dealers on the floor. She's like, there's 3 times as many dealers on the floor here as at any other con in the world. What else do you want? I mean, come on.
Well, you got to remember, these are fanboys. That's all they know real well is to bitch and moan.
Well, yeah, that's the truth. But
She understands that comic books are not just comic books anymore. Comic books are, you know, look how many movies have come out based on comic books.
Movies, TV shows, video games,
They're all intertwined.
everything.
it's all
And so you
culture.
really can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
It's called progress. You know, Two Guns coming up. That's based on a comic book. Some of the other RIPD just got through being released based on a comic book. I mean, that's just in the last 2 weeks.
We're working on Kick-Ass 2.
Kick-Ass 2.
That 2 just released.
Look at all the TV shows. I mean, it's
Shield
all,
was a huge deal.
you know, that's the thing. Back when it was only comic books, you know, when did San Diego Comic-Con get started? 73, 74, somewhere around in there?
Yeah.
Back then, you didn't have a lot of TV shows that were looking at comic books as source material. You know, they were looking at the more highbrow, I say highbrow, the novels and stuff. They were doing ones after novels.
Yeah, they're looking at highbrow stuff. Love American style.
Yeah. But you know, you look at that kind of thing, and it's just a progression. Eventually, comic books are going to make their way into every other media type, and so then you're going to have to start bringing them into the con. And it's just in a year or two, they'll quit complaining. They'll find something else to gripe about.
Well, and I mean, I think part of the rant stems from the fact that what tends to get all the press is the movies and the TV shows.
Yeah.
That annoys people because
I
they're
can see that.
comic book purists and they want everything to be about the comic books, and they're not really seeing the big picture because they're just kind of focused on their own.
Well, now that same argument's been made at some of the conventions here. You know, why is it we always push all the celebrities? Why is it we tout the celebrities are coming? You know,
Well, because that's what's going to
where
get
the
people
money
going.
comes from.
Yeah, that's what's. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, that's where the money comes from.
Mhm.
That's what the largest possible number of people want to see, and will pay $20 to get in the door to see.
That's
Yep.
what I was going to say. Is that's what's going to get butts into the butts into the convention area.
Right.
You know, there's only a certain number of people that are going to want to see a specific comic writer or artist or something like that. But you bring in a media celebrity that everybody knows,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to have more likely the odds of someone coming in
That
to
would
see just that person.
Right.
And then, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll look at the dealer's room and there may be something I'll buy or that kind of thing. So, you know.
I can tell you right now, when they released Fan Days, that first wave of guests, and John Barrowman's the first one up there, I can tell you a lot of tickets didn't get sold until that got released.
Yeah.
And when they saw John Barrowman on there, boom, tickets started hitting. Because people know that they can go and find comic book artists, but is it going to be worth it to go in there and fight the crowds and things? Is it going to be worth paying that cover charge to get in there to do that? If you don't have somebody of that stature that's going to draw them in. And so, you know, I can kind of see their point out there in San Diego. The comic book artists, sometimes the fan, well, I don't know, one of the fanboys would be worried about it. You know, would it be the artist that would be more upset about people getting FaceTime like that on the adverts and stuff? You know, it's, well, I guess not, because Gail's, you know, saying, hey, lay off of it. And
Well, they're not, because hey, the fans who want to go see them are going to go see them.
mm-hmm.
They're going to go to the panels to hear what that particular publisher is going to do or what these particular writers, artists are going to do. They're going to be there. But I want to go back to something you talk about, people complaining about the media celebrities going to the cons. I've noticed a trend the last few weeks, because I kept going over to the Fan Days Facebook page and trying to see if there was going to be any kind of, you know, if there had been any movement, and there really hadn't been until within the last week.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some going, seriously, you're gonna have comic book people there? Didn't we have a Comic-Con back in May?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't, you know? So it's kind of it's, you know, you've got the ones who want to go see the media celebrities complaining about having comic book people there, and then you got the comic book fans complaining about the media celebrities being there. So, you know.
And what the problem is that neither side seems to realize that how small a percentage that each side of that is.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 10% of the people showing up on either side there, when there's 80% of the rest of us who aren't making any complaints whatsoever, because we're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So you're actually making a very vocal but very small percentage minority.
Yeah.
Of people complaining here, and I think that was kind of Gail's point.
What are the Star Trek people doing here? Didn't they have their own con last week? Go away.
So what other news items caught your eye? I did notice that Comixology, and I know Mikey retweeted this item, distribution deal with Scholastic, which I think is a very cool.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
It's extremely cool.
That's going to get Scholastic stuff out to a larger and different group of people.
Yeah.
Which cannot be a bad thing. Scholastic, for those who don't know, is big into they're like one of the biggest education publishers out there.
I missed my Scholastic Weekly Reader with the one that would come out with all the new books and stuff, because man, I'd just go through and I go, I want that one, I want that one, and then go home and try to beg your mother to give you $5 so you can get them.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, when your books were 35 cents.
We still do book fairs twice a year in schools.
What'd you say, Mikey?
They still do it. They still do book fairs twice a year in schools.
Yeah.
Cool.
In public schools.
Hey, what about Karen Gillan's haircut? Did you get to see that, Les?
No, I didn't. I think the only person I saw outside of a panel was Simon Pegg, and he was passing me as I was trying to get in line for his panel.
You didn't clothesline him and then apologize, tell him you thought he was somebody else?
No. I didn't want to get hauled away.
Again.
Screaming and chanting, I love you,
Hey,
man!
hey. Granted, they did haul me away for pretending to be a janitor, but
That was after
really the groundsman.
Yeah,
Well, it's going to clean up after you.
Karen has shaved her head for the role of Nebula for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ah.
She showed up wearing a wig and then she took it off during the panel.
When did they start shooting on that flick?
It's supposed to be real soon because it's supposed to come out next year. They've officially announced the cast, and Benicio del Toro is playing the Collector, which has been rumored for a couple of months. And there's some rumblings that he may actually appear in Thor that's coming out in November. He might make a cameo in Thor.
Even if it's at the tail end of the trailer.
Something like that. Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
So, well, you gotta continue the tradition of the stinger, of the post-credit stinger leading into the next movie.
Absolutely.
Going
one
back
other.
to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, going back to Avengers, how are they going to tie this back into Thanos? You can't just toss Thanos out at the end of the first one and then not have something connecting there, and instead of running with the storyline of Ultron without mention. That doesn't make
Thanos
sense
is
to
going
me.
to create Ultron.
Huh?
Maybe Thanos is going to create.
That's what I was thinking. Either that or maybe Thanos is going to be used in one of the other.
Yeah, he may. Who knows? He may show up a little bit in the Guardians. Then again, they may try to set him up for Avengers 3. Maybe he'll have a cameo in Avengers 2, setting things up for him to be shown for the third one. It wouldn't be the first time they've shown off a villain just kind of hiding around in. Granted, it's been in TV shows, not in movies, but hiding. He's kind of in the shadows, waiting for his moment to strike, and then
Anytime. As soon as he's ready.
Yep.
Which is not on your schedule, sir. It's on his own schedule.
They're just toying with my emotions.
Absolutely.
Now, supposedly at the end of this month, we're going to get the announcement of who Vin Diesel is going to play, because he will be in the Avengers, and everybody's making it sound like he's playing. The predominant theory is he is playing Vision. Although
because he's bald.
Although some people have thought about him possibly being Thanos, him being cast as Thanos, but who knows? We'll know here.
Raccoon.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but Rocket Raccoon's in the Guardians of the Galaxy, not the Avengers.
Well, he could be then in the Fast and Furious.
What now?
Dude, that was bad. That was impressively bad.
Someone turn off his mic, please.
I think all the rest of the three of us should turn around and our back to the camera.
And now it's all mine.
So, what else? What else did you find interesting? I finally saw the ad for season 2 of Arrow, and if you hadn't seen it, it's on Summer Glau's YouTube page, because she will be on the show. They've added her on. They're adding Black Canary next year.
Ooh.
And Black Canary is going to be there, and it's not Diana Lance who we have in the show. It's someone else.
Okay.
And Michael J. White, for those who may remember him being Spawn in the live-action movie, they're bringing him on next season to play Bronze Tiger. They're adding a lot of the. They said they were adding some of the more of the costume characters in the next season, and it may even sound like the way they kind of teased it is that he may officially get the Green Arrow name. That they'll start calling him Green Arrow. That's kind of what the way they were teasing it. So it looks like it might be a pretty good season. I've enjoyed the show so far. So
I attended the panel with Mark Evanier, Sergio Aragonis, and Stan Sakai.
Costume characters in the next season, and it may even sound like the way. Why am I getting stuff I was hearing?
Oh, hold on.
Instead of a couple of minutes ago.
Me. Somebody's on our YouTube channel and said that Thanos is going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. They've already flown cast in, and they're 2 weeks into filming on it.
Cool. All right.
Know anybody? Bishop 45A1?
Not familiar with them.
Thanks, Bishop. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Bishop. Appreciate it.
They were talking about Gru and Gru's crossover with Conan. They are going to go ahead with it. It seems that there was a portion in the book where Gru went to the hospital, and just as he was finishing that segment, Sergio ended up going to the hospital. So he was out of action for a while. But they are back in and getting that ready for publication. I think they've got through book 3.
Yeah,
and they want to get all 4 before they release it.
I heard something just over the weekend saying that he was penciling 4 currently.
Yes. And it seems that he pencils his, the artist for Conan pencils his, they send it to Mark, he reviews it, Sergio inks his, the Conan artist inks his, it's sent back to Sergio to join the 2, and then it is sent for lettering and printing. So.
And I want to say something here real quick. I don't have a problem with them delaying the whole thing just because it's not done. We've been burned so many times of story arcs or miniseries or whatever starting, and then for whatever reason there's a delay, and then basically like the delay turns into it never finishing.
Right, a cancellation.
Well, no, I don't know about cancellation, but I mean, like, you know, for example, a lot of these are due to Kevin Smith, but you know, you got that Bullseye. You know, the first issue came out, and that was it. He finally came back and finished up the Black Cat miniseries.
What about the Captain America series that went 1 issue and?
It went a 0 issue. That was it.
Wow.
That was the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb, Captain America White. Yeah, it just stuff like that. So I don't have a problem. Don't have a problem with them delaying the entire thing and making sure it's done, and then they can publish it all. Not a problem at all. So I just wanted to throw that in real quick. So
Sergio was brought to tears because of the
What'd you say?
response. I didn't say it.
He was throwing chunks of Limburger at him from the back row.
And nearly hit him.
Uh-huh.
Missed him by that much.
Just a bit outside.
And that was the 3rd ejection from the comic.
He was so moved by the audience, because the audience was going crazy. They just loved everything that was being said and outlined, because they do intend to do another Gru series, which I would look forward to myself.
Awesome.
Too, seriously.
And then he was just crying toward the end because of the fan base there, just cheering him on and laughing at everything that was being done and said, yet understanding with the delay of Conan and Gru. So it was fun. It was a good panel. It was one of the panels that I really did enjoy.
As much as I would like to see another Gru series, and I do, I wouldn't mind him doing a series of one shots of just some of his individual, the individual, like one page stories and that kind of stuff. Kind of like what he did with Mad. I know a few years ago, he did one called Boogeyman that was all kind of a horror type thing, with horror comedy. I wouldn't mind seeing that too. If that's something he wants to do, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Just a series of one shots, whether it's, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to do a whole thing on superheroes and parody of them, or just ordinary, average
Just give
run of
him
the
carte
mill,
blanche. Just let him go.
just let him do whatever he wants to do.
Well, of course, he did the parody for DC, the one for Marvel. He did one for Star Wars. He's now doing the funnies, which is essentially life stories. And they're not necessarily one page, but they are little stories that he pulls from his life and talks about.
But you know what I'm
what's
talking
going
about.
on. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I think that he's really got a full plate at this time with the two stories that he's doing. I would like to see more, of course, because he is an extremely talented artist. There at the panel, Tom Luth was not in there. He was not attending, but that was because he was doing the coloring for the Gru versus Conan right now, and I think he was on issue 2, having to do that, try to catch up with the others.
Was Stan there?
Yes, yeah, he was there on panel,
Okay.
and he was very entertaining. Also, they played off each other quite well, so that was fun.
And that's another thing that should be mentioned. The fact that those four guys have worked together on Gru from the get-go, and we're talking early to mid '80s, and they're still together doing it. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was fun to see them. If I may, one of the panels that I really enjoyed was Warehouse 13. They had the major cast there, the 5 main characters, and at the cons I've explained, you have to sit through one, maybe two other programs, panels, to get to the one that you wish to see. For the Warehouse 13 panel, I sat through the Nerdist panel, and I also sat through the Being Human panel. I thoroughly enjoyed Chris Hardwick and his group up there on stage. They were quite funny, and they were joking with the audience as well as themselves up on stage. I don't look at it now as having to sit through it. It was thoroughly enjoyable. And not being a big fan of Being Human, I enjoyed their panel also. They were very quick. They had one panelist that had not been to a Comic-Con, so this was all new to her. And she was just taken aback as to what was going on with everything there. And they got to Warehouse 13, and this is their final season. So it was kind of strange because Eddie McClintock was the one that broke down. He started crying over it.
He loves that show, man. He lives for it. Eddie McClintock is akin to that show like all the actors are for Firefly.
Yes, I agree. And of course, when he started to go, then the others started to go. So it was sad, but you were happy to see them, and they too were extremely happy to see the outpour from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they took the typical questions from the audience, some of which were pretty weird.
Were they as stupid as the ones we were talking off before the show that Harrison Ford received?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
So Eddie, if your character were to get into a fight with Agent K from MIB, who would win?
Yeah. That's a pretty good one. We need to remember that one next time.
Write it down or just go back and watch this.
He owes me a photo anyway, so I'll get the answer to that question.
There you go.
You hear that, Eddie McClintock? You owe me. Your lean out picture.
It was fun though. I got to see the Beware the Batman panel, and Sunday was mainly for kids, and that was great because you had a lot of tykes running around. The only problem I had with them in a Q&A is they watched the program at the first. They would show a film, a clip, or actually they showed an episode that has not been shown yet with Humpty Dumpty. And the minute it's over, they're ready to split. But of course, then they bring out the actors, the voices, and things like that. So that was a good show. It was interesting to see that they are going to try to keep from getting the standard villains on the show, which is a great idea. So you probably will not see Catwoman, Penguin, Killer Croc, Joker. Things like that. They're trying to stay away from those. They're trying to get the lesser-known criminals on.
So we may see Crazy Quilt and Kite Man and Signal Man and
Calendar Man,
Calculator,
Catman,
Reusable styrofoam cup man.
That's it. And I'll say that one of the most fun I had, the panel that I had most fun at was Phineas and Ferb, because they had the film clip at the first with just little bits from various episodes, including some that have not been shown. Then as they were to introduce the moderator, it was the voice of Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz introducing Diedrich Bader, who has had a role on the show. And if you're familiar with the show, he plays the older brother of the little fan of Phineas and Ferb. But then they brought out the two creators, Povenmire and Marsh. They also brought out the voice of Phineas, the voice of Doofenshmirtz's daughter, one other female character, and I'm trying to remember who she was on the show, but sorry to say I don't remember. And then the voice of Perry the Platypus, which after you heard him speaking, you thought, that guy's got it made, because all he had to do was that voice one time. It's just like Mel Blanc in The Roadrunner. Yeah. You do the voice one time, and that's all they use each time.
And the money just rolls in.
Yeah. It was a funny panel, and it got to them doing voices up there, and that even cracked the audience up that much more, that much faster. It was well done, and of course, Diedrich Bader did the voice of Batman on Brave and Bold also, as well as being in Office Space.
It's so hard to see him do stuff like that.
The Drew Carey, yes, also after seeing Drew Carey show as Oswald. But it was to me, it was really something to behold. And then I did not get to see it, but they did have two separate panels of voice actors. And that would have been fun to sit down and just watch the voices go back and forth between the various actors. And that was including Maurice, was it Maurice? LaMarche, the voice of the Brain on Pinky and the Brain. Then, of course, all the others that were up there. So,
No.
So, did they talk anything about the crossover episodes that they're doing?
yes, they did. They said that they are going to. They showed a clip from the crossover with the Marvel Universe, Phineas and Ferb and the Marvel Universe, and they were able to do essentially anything they wanted. Excuse me. They did not have the full Avengers in there. They had Spider-Man and Iron Man and some others, and it was quite funny as to what they were doing. Phineas and Ferb were, was it the Falcon? I believe that was the character that they did on their show. And as a result, they incorporated that into this Marvel world. And they're planning on doing one for Star Wars also.
Yep.
Cool deal.
So what other panels did you attend that are less, or was that pretty much it?
No, there were other panels. Some of them were not quite as
Interesting.
as standouting as I got to take part in a panel for Marvel. They did a panel on getting the.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit. Les attending a Marvel panel. What is wrong with this picture?
Did you walk into the wrong hall again?
I think he did.
No.
They were so impressed they brought him up on stage. And...
I fell on my sword for this group by attending them. No.
Oh, he blames it on us. That's what happened.
It was them talking about their access to comic books online. You know, reading your comics through iPads and this, that, and the other. And
that just makes it even more curious how you got involved.
I get my comics through email.
For someone who does not read digital comics, how
they had a little production. They were showing films and little clips of how you could get these Marvel items online. Then the moderator said, who knows or who has access through whatever means to the Marvel comics? And the hands shot up. And then they made the mistake of saying, who has never read a digital comic? And just
dun, dun, dun.
There we go.
Now it all clears up.
So after they had one person run up there, literally run up there to read the Marvel comic, then it was a new Wolverine. Then the guy said, "Hey, where's the guy that had never read a digital comic?" And I stood and walked to the front, sat down and read the comic as the panel kept going. And then they asked me about the comic, about reading digitally. And it is fascinating because there are so many things you can do with the digital. And I told everybody, I'm sorry, I'm not tech savvy. I'm old school. I want a physical copy in my hands. But everybody was understanding and laughed their asses off. So
they understood your plight and laughed at you.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, he's an old fart. We come to expect it."
Isn't he cute?
Here, Dusty, sit here.
We need to see if we can find video on this.
Oh, God,
really
I hope not.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Somebody did it.
Someone's got it.
Hell, Marvel probably did, just so they could show it, pieces of it later. I mean, come on.
Well, usually they had somebody filming the panels, each of the panels. So
What was the panel
it
called
could be-
again?
I'm sorry?
What was it called again?
I don't even recall. It was like Marvel Digital or something like that.
Just Google Marvel old fart and his picture will pop up.
Oh, look at that! It's number one.
We're number one.
No, it was interesting though. But there were some panels. The Ender's Game panel I did not get into because I met a couple the night before the Ender's Game panel was to be shown, and they worked with somebody in the other half of that panel for the movie Divergent. And they wanted me to attend so I could give them an idea of what I thought of Divergent. Divergent is based on some books also.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood in line and stood in line and stood in line. And by the time that panel was over, they had Ender's Game, then Divergent. At the end of that panel, I was still in line, and I said, well, folks, I gotta go. So I missed that panel that I really did want to see. But that was the way things are, because at the convention, they do not clear the hall. When a panel finishes, if 100 people go out, they'll let 100 people in. They try to keep it full. And granted, it's not always completely full. There are some single seats. There are those people that think that a seat is where they need to put their baggage. So, you're missing some seats that way also. But they try to keep everybody in there, get everybody they can in there, and they'll have people going up and down the aisles counting seats to let more people in to try to fill the seats to make sure that everybody and anybody can get in there that they can allow anyway.
Did you run into the couple again?
No, I did not. We were supposed to meet with them that evening to talk about it, but Gina did not receive a phone call from them, so obviously they probably were done and out of town that afternoon rather than be able to stick around. I'm sure, I think they were from Los Angeles, so it's easier for them to just pack up and go home than to pay for another night in a hotel or something like that.
Yeah.
If I may, there are a couple things that I did not like about the convention.
Uh-oh.
Bring it.
The first one is very typical. This is what I've always believed. Strollers are not a place for a convention. They're usually way too bulky. People not only put their kids in it, but they put everything that they can possibly drag to a convention in it. And then I saw a baby in there and 4 backpacks on a stroller. And I thought, are you kidding? Because people were wearing backpacks as well. And I thought, this is going
Hey,
too
maybe
far.
the kid had brass knuckles on. Maybe that was the obvious security, thing.
The only other thing that I really despised was people texting. If you need to talk to somebody, call them. Don't text them because they can't listen to you or look at it in a panel. And if they're on the main floor, these people go slow as can be, and you cannot get around them. And these people were everywhere.
That's the big thing. If you've got a text, get out of the
Get the
way.
hell out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Step aside, stop walking. Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing with the strollers. I'm not against people taking strollers, but don't go on a day when it's crowded as all get out. And have some thought about the rest of the people around you too. Not everybody there is worried about you and their kid. They're just like you. they're focused on getting to the next panel or the next hall or whatever. So don't take up 2 lanes, and don't Sunday stroll it either. Get to where you're going to get out of my damn way, okay?
Well, I just don't understand the whole. I know the main reason why they're bringing the kids because they don't want to pay for the babysitter. That's the only reason, because it's not like Junior or little Missy is going to have a good time and remember this because, hey, they're 2 years old. What the hell are they going to remember? I just,
Lily remembers Adam Baldwin. She does.
Was she in a stroller?
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
But that's about all I have for coverage right now. I'm sorry to say, but it was fun. I had a good time. The legs were worn out by Sunday morning. Sunday morning, I looked like The Walking Dead because I moved so slow.
There's a panel for that.
Many panels for that.
You would have fit right in.
Yeah, I did not even get to cover the whole main floor because of time constraints.
Bet you wish you had a stroller then, didn't you?
I wish I had a Segway. I would have zipped through there.
Oh, there you go. That'd been cool.
That would be
Hey,
a
guys.
sight to see.
I'm going to cut short. I've got to go take care of some stuff, okay?
All right.
All right. Good talking, everybody. Everybody that's watching,
James.
we know 1 or 2 of you. And that was Tom Branch a while ago that was giving us the info.
Oh, good.
So we did have 1 viewer tonight.
Awesome.
Yay.
See y'all later.
Yay.
Bye, James.
Night, James. Well, let me ask you this, since we kind of got when you talk about The Walking Dead, kind of made me think about it. What display impressed you the most? What because I know I've seen the pictures, and there were some very impressive displays. Even the one for The Walking Dead, because looked like it was. I think they were redoing they redid the prison or something like that.
Yeah, they did chain link fence passageway to get to the artists or the actors for that. You had to go through a line that passed along some chain link fence corridors, and inside the fences were Walking Dead reaching out, trying to grab you, things like that. The most impressive thing I saw really was the Lego Superman. A Superman figure made entirely of Legos. And I thought that was really, really cool to see. I don't know that any of the just the publishers or anybody else had that great a stand, which, before DC had the Night Owls, was it the Nightbird, his flying machine for the Watchmen movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Marvel has had various suits of Iron Man on display, in an arc with plastic in front of them, looking like they were on display. It was really nice. But this year, nobody really wowed me for all that much. But it was a beautiful sight to see, and it's definitely one that people can't imagine how large it really is. Yeah. It's massive. Yeah, you would take the main arena of the American Airlines Center here and just lay it end to end about 6 times. Would possibly be the length of the dealer's floor there at the con. And then upstairs is all the panels and the like.
So in all, you had a good time.
Yes, thank you, I did. I had a good time, and the wife had a good time. She got to go around town and see some of the sights, so she was pleased.
And do a little reading, get some suntan and all that kind of stuff, and basically stay away from the con.
She stayed away from the con. She didn't get all that much sun because it was low 70s there and somewhat cloudy on Friday through Sunday.
Wow.
But it was. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to say she spent a lot of money too. I spent way too much money, but I know that she spent some money too.
Yeah.
She enjoyed it. She had a good time.
Cool. Well, we appreciate the little report there, Les.
Well, thanks for letting me ramble too. But it was
You can ramble anytime,
something.
dude. You just choose not to most of the time.
Yeah. Before we start trying to wrap things up, anyone want to mention a couple of anything?
Sure, I'll throw out something.
Okay.
And weirdly enough, it's actually comics related. The part I don't remember if it was actually at the con or if it was just before, but it was announced. Oh, I think it was IDW is going to put out a Samurai Jack comic book
That's right.
with Zub writing.
Yep. Yeah, I thought about that when I saw that. I thought about you. I thought this ought to be fun. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and he's also, I saw that and then went and looked at his site or whatever, his Twitter feed, I forget which, and he's also doing a special Halloween issue of, I believe it's Shadow Man for Valiant.
Yeah, that's true.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that too.
And part of what sparked me on it was, I got this.
Yay!
Finally, it's volume 4. I was very happy. I had my little geek boy moment where I giggled when I saw the box sitting on the table. I think Leslie thought I was nuts, but that's all right.
No.
Well, not necessarily anything related to that. But anyway.
Anything else? Les, do you have anything?
I did get to see Terry Moore.
Okay.
Got some stuff signed by him. And at the same booth area was Jeff Smith.
Cool.
So I got some things signed by him, and I even told him the last time I saw him was in Dallas in early 90s when Bone had just started. And he said, yeah, Dallas Fantasy Fair. So I thought, wow, that's amazing that he would remember that since it's been gone forever.
Yeah.
But I said, when can we expect you to come back? So I think it's in his mind now to try to get to the Dallas Con.
Cool. What did you say to Terry Moore?
I told him that I wanted to see him because we had seen him at the last con here, and once again thoroughly enjoyed his work. I picked up number 3 of his Rachel Rising.
The volume third volume's out.
Yeah, 3rd volume is out. So, and I also got he did a cover for Overstreet, Buyer's Guide, and I got the hardbound edition of that. So I was pretty happy.
Okay, cool.
I lugged enough stuff home.
Fox shows up Thursday, right?
Right, yeah. Thursday. There is one thing. There is one thing I wanted to kind of plug a little bit. This Saturday, here in the Dallas area, is the Dallas-Fort Worth Comic Book Show, the North Texas Comic Book Show. It's this Saturday from 9:30 to 5 at the Doubletree Hotel, Dallas Market Center, located at 2015 Market Center Boulevard. Les, we're going to that, right? You may not be spending any money, but we're going, right?
Yeah, that's probably the case.
And for those who want to check it out, the website is comicbooksdallas.com. Clint Cummings from Ink Master is going to be there. Craig Rousseau, who's Batman, did some art for Batman Beyond in the Image Comics, and Jason Adams is going to be there. Some of our friends is going to be there. Thomas Branch, who was giving us information during the night, will be there. Well, James is going to have a table there. Our friend Eddie Medina is going to have a table there to have some goodies there to buy, some great artwork. There's going to be a lot of good people there, and we'll be there checking things out. Maybe the show in October we'll get a table and be exhibitor. Who knows?
Could be fun.
But I want to give that a plug. Give Chris a plug about the show being this Saturday. So, that's pretty much all I've got. So, as we start wrapping things up, next week's show will be a little bit more of our normal show. Topic and game. You did well. You gave us some laughs. I can't believe they got you to read a digital comic.
That's great.
That's funny.
That is greatness.
We'll go back to our normal format of topics and our game. So things will be a little bit more normal next week.
A
So
little more structure,
a little bit more structure, which is fine.
which is good. Sometimes we
So,
need structure.
oh God, yes. Anything else before we call it a night?
Not for me.
I think we're good.
All right. Until next time. Well, you want to go ahead and plug your Twitter? Well, you already got it on your
I
graphic,
think
but
people have been looking at it every time I've said anything all night, so
yeah,
we'll leave it
at Mikey Geek.
That's me.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get my graphic to come up. That's nice.
Yeah, we'll get it fixed next week or something.
Yeah, something like that.
We have graphics?
Well, you don't have a Twitter, so you don't have to worry about it.
No.
So, if you have any comment suggestions, anything, you just shoot us an email at email@thefellowshipofgeeks.net. We'd love to hear from you. I don't really have anything else to say, so with that, we'll say good night.
Good night.
Bye.
See you later, everybody.